Today we're making a super easy side dish that has been called many different names. It's called Cheesy Potato Casserole, Mormon Potatoes, and even funeral potatoes. Now my family calls them cardiac potatoes, but they're not going to kill you. You'll just think you've gone to heaven because they are killer good and go great with ham or anything barbecue. Plus, they're perfect for potlucks. Are you ready? The kitchen is now open. Hi, I'm Deb, and this is my kitchen. If you're new here, you'll find recipes, cooking skills, and tips on how to save time and money while you make your dinner table the family center of your home, because that's where families are built. And if you like our videos, please consider giving us a thumbs up, subscribing, and sharing so that we can help as many families as possible. Come on in, let's cook up something good. For my killer good cardiac potatoes, the ingredients I'll be using today are half a cup of melted margarine, which is equal to 1 stick, and you can use butter if you prefer, 1 can cream of chicken soup, a half a cup of chopped onion, it's equal to about a half a medium onion, and 12 ounces of sour cream, 1 teaspoon salt, and half a teaspoon of ground black pepper, a half a pound of shredded sharp cheddar cheese, which is about 2 cups, and then 1 2-pound bag of frozen Southern-style hash browns, thawed. The tools I'll be using are a 2-quart casserole dish, mine is 10 by 10 by 2 inches, a small spatula, a large spatula, a cheese grater if you're not using pre-shredded cheese, measuring spoons in a half teaspoon and 1 teaspoon size, and a half cup dry measure. While we're assembling our casserole, we're also heating our oven. So I've already started that. It's preheating to 350 degrees. I like to build my casserole right here in the pan I'm going to cook it in. So I've already melted my butter. And now I'm going to add my can of soup. Now we're talking about saving time and money. One of the ways you can do that is using store brands. If you can find them, I am perfectly happy using store brands. So this is store brand soup. And I'm going to go ahead and mix that in. It's a little easier once you get the butter mixed in so it's not so sloshy. Go easy as you're stirring this. Now, if you prefer, you can also mix this separately in a large bowl. Just melt your butter first and then add all of your ingredients. But I'm all about fewer dishes, so that's why I like to make it in the pan. Now I'm adding my 3/4 of a pint, that's 12 ounces of sour cream. I think I'm going to switch to my larger spatula. And I'm going to show you, in the name of fewer dishes, how I measure that sour cream without a measuring cup. Here's an example. Here's a fresh sour cream. I've took the top off, but you can see it always has that plastic layer in it. For a visual for you, I've just cut it in quarters. So then when it's flat, I just keep that mind picture in there and scoop out 3/4 of it and leave the other quarter behind to be used for something else. So that's how I do it without a measuring cup. Now, as we're stirring, I like to go ahead and put in my salt and pepper so that it gets thoroughly blended in and I don't have pockets of salt and pepper that are separate. Still trying to get that butter blended in. Again, if you do this in a bowl, you don't have to be quite so careful because you're not worrying about sloshing. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in my onions. This is about a half a cup or a half of a medium-sized onion. Just continuing to stir as we go. And now I have 8 ounces, that's half a pound, of shredded sharp cheddar. Now, I shredded my own, but if you want to save that effort and buy it pre-shredded, by all means, that's great. You can do that too, no problem. I'm just making the effort to try to get all of these ingredients blended smoothly so I don't have pockets of cheese and pockets of soup. And now it's starting to get more evenly distributed all the way through. And then the last thing I add is our potatoes. If I mix it all in at once in the pan without doing it in layers, I have a devil of a time trying to get those potatoes mixed in. Now, again, I like using store brand if I can find them. So much cheaper than the name brand. And I just picked out a couple little pieces here that had some skin on it that didn't look real appetizing, but otherwise, frankly, these look better than the last time I bought the name brand one. So no problem using generics or store brand. Oop, there's another little dark piece I don't want. Now, you can also use shredded hash browns rather than the chunky ones, the Southern style. Either way is fine. Personally, I prefer the Southern style because it gives you more of a solid potato as you're eating it. It's a nice texture, and it doesn't all kind of go into one big smooshy, gushy mess. So that's why I opt for the Southern style. So I'm going to go ahead and finish getting these mixed in, and then we're going to transfer this to the oven. Remember, it's at 350 degrees, and we're going to set our timer for 60 minutes, 1 hour, and then we're going to come back and check it. What we're looking for is that the cheese is nice and melty. You can see it's kind of bubbly, and then some crispy edges on it. So I'll see you in a little bit after we get this in the oven. Okay, that's 1 hour. Let's take a look. Sure smells good. Wow. Now that's looking pretty good. You can see it's bubbly around the edges and some golden brown, but I'd like to see more of that golden color in the center as well. So I think I'm going to pop this in for another 10 minutes or so. So let me get that set up. Whenever I'm cooking something in the oven like this, I like to make sure to check it maybe a little bit early. Now, if it's a long time, like an hour plus, check it maybe 10 minutes early. Or if you're cooking something that's 20 minutes, check it 2 minutes early. Just you want to get ahead of it because not all ovens are the same. Temperatures vary from oven to oven, and even issues like the weather, altitude of barometer, believe it or not, it makes a difference. So it's always good to check it a little early. So I've got it set for 10 more minutes. We'll come back and look at it again. All right. This is looking good. I'm going to turn the oven off. Now you can see that golden color in the center. That is beautiful. And look how it's bubbling. But I'll tell you right now, I'm going to set this on the counter to cool off for a little bit because this is piping hot. Not quite ready to take a bite yet. Now my total cook time ended up being 1 hour and 15 minutes. After that 10-minute check, it just wasn't quite ready, so I set it for another 5. Total 1 hour and 15. Yum. All right, our casserole's been cooling for about 10 minutes, and for a quick recap, I just want to point out what you should be looking for. You can see this nice crunchy edge and how it's golden brown in the center. That's absolutely perfect. I can't wait to taste it. I want to give you a couple tips though. You know, it took a little bit of time to prep and put together, and you're chopping onions and grating cheese and all of that. You may not want to get into all of that after a long day's work. But you can prep it the night before, just cover it with some plastic wrap, and then when you get home, preheat your oven, remove the plastic, and pop it in. And in 1 hour to 1 hour and 15 minutes, you have this beautiful, delicious side dish. And that's a big if there's any left over, you can freeze it, and then when you're ready to have it again, just simply reheat it in the microwave, and it'll be every bit as good as the first day you made it. I don't know anyone who doesn't love this potato dish, no matter what you call it. It is definitely a family pleaser. And Family is built at the dinner table, and if you feed them this, they will come.
All to the family.